Hey, welcome folks, Mark Rolton coming to you from the nerve centre of Massland's HQ. I trust that you're well. The conversation that you and I have been having for some time, if you're new to this, has been around how do we now acquire a portfolio that sustains you and I in our latter years. How do we use this commodity of property to survive and retire in the future, Mark? And it's a great question, and I don't believe that anyone has articulated as clear as what we know as the automatic acquisition plan, or an AAP as it's otherwise known. This is a critical piece of intel that the masters of property have been using for decades. How is it that we now own free and clear property that gives us rent to pay for groceries, put fuel in the car, pay the gas bills, and whatever it might be as we retire? Now, for some of us, that may be earlier than our 60s, 70s. When I say retire, it doesn't mean a vision of someone being old. I've got a lot of clients today that are literally hitting their late 40s, early 50s and going, I've had enough. I've got a portfolio, thank you for that. And now I can step back from a job. And how do we do that, Mark? How do we systematically do that every year to make a serious impact in the way we retire? As we retire, the kind of income we have determines the sort of lifestyle or the kind of choices we get to make. We know that. What I'm going to suggest, though, is an automated acquisition plan is truly now subscribing to the idea that we want to now create a portfolio whereby we physically intend to sell down half of it to pay down the debt on the other half that we intend to keep. You know the statistics here. The property market in Australia doubles every 7 to 10 years. We know that. Aussies, we've been using that for years. 80 years of data on record. We know that it's systematically followed that pattern. So think about it. Right now, we work a job. You pay an income, you get paid an income, you pay a massive amount, a ridiculous amount of tax to the taxman. By using property, we're chiseling that tax bill immediately. And we're building a portfolio that's not going to see us so much retire off our job. We all know that we can spend what we earn. But a portfolio is how you and I intend to retire. We're going to pay off the property not by your job. You see, post-war thinking had it that when you and I had a job, we went out and then paid down the debt from the bank. That's where we first learned post-war days. Our parents were trained and trained us, unfortunately in many ways, to get a job, get 2 jobs, hell get 3. Pay down the debt of an institution and you'll get a property to retire and live in. The game has changed. There's not enough money in that home to actually eat and keep the roof over your head. We've all worked that out. So Mark, how do I navigate that challenge? Pretty simple. If I buy 10 properties and sell down 5, I've effectively got half of my portfolio that's already doubled in a 10-year window. So instead of using your job, or the fruits of your back, or 40 hours of your life each week, or 60 hours of your life each week doing something you don't like, let's invest in real estate that doubles every 7 to 10. I'm a very realist when it comes to investing. Forget the 7, forget the 2.5 years as it doubled when the Sydney Olympics were announced in Sydney. Forget it. Let's just base it on every 10. If I buy a property today for $350, I know it's going to be worth $700, $750, if not more, come 10 years' time from now. And in most cases, you'll find it'll actually rally beyond that. But let's just use a 10-year doubling effect. So if I've got now 10 properties, half of my portfolio, 5, have already doubled. And if they've doubled, then I can essentially sell them down and my profits would automatically pay out the debt on the 5 newer properties that we intend to keep. Now, we're 5 properties, free and clear, unencumbered, debt-free, spinning off a bit over $100,000 a year in income. And that's how the masters of real estate play the game. That's how you and I win it. So I want to just fast forward and now move over to a project in Perth. Why? Because the subject around AAP is obviously a very factual, it's a very compelling scenario, but it comes down to your needs and what you want to achieve. This property we just launched, this project we launched in Perth only a few days ago, and over half the project has already been sold in a matter of days. I was there, as I said, just last week, and it was a ripping success. If you want to be a participant and actually do well out of the Perth market, we know it's going through some massive changes right now. This particular project is called Whistling Grove. You can see here, it's a project that's been inundated with success. This whole development in the southern parts of Perth, in a place called Wandai, has done extremely well. This was the project, we launched it, we've only got a couple of blocks remaining. You can see here they average anywhere from sort of 450, some are down to 300, but the average about 450 square metres. If you want to pay a little bit more, it's even blocks the size of 700 square metres. Now, how does it work? We're just talking steak and potatoes investing. Truly, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 lock-up garage. That's standard play. Now you might say, well Mark, I'd rather be involved in a luxurious market. It might give you bragging rights the next dinner party, I don't know. Here's what I would say. Steak and potatoes investing is the smartest way to make the biggest gains. Think about it. What's more likely to happen? A property in Vaucluse, Sydney, eastern suburbs, at 5 million doubling to 10 million? Or a property at 500, 450 doubling inside the next 10 years? And obviously the answer is the latter. We know that something at a lower price point is far more likely to double in that window, given that most people can afford to pay for it. The masses, you and me. It's still affordable in our money. But 4 bedroom, 2 baths, as I said, 2 car locker. You can see here rents are achieving between $565 and $575. Now that's on today's money. The project won't be finished until somewhere around November, December of 2014. The best part of 5.5 months away. At that point, we know that the rents are going to pip up a little bit. If you sort of said 575 was a very realistic benchmark for today, I foresee those being somewhere between 580 and as much as 590 in that period. We know there's a massive housing shortage across Australia. If you look at the HIA website, they talk about being short 360,000 dwellings per year. This insatiable demand for property is not going to slow down anytime soon, given all-time high immigration levels, coupled by the most amazing shift that we've ever seen in Australia's history. We've got just on 5 million people retiring between here and the end of the decade. That might sound like a long time away. Let me remind you, it's only 5.5 years. You've got a massive amount of people that are stepping out of the workforce, hence creating a massive void of jobs to fill. How do you do that? How do you fill 5 million jobs when unemployment is at crisis levels? You think about it, we're below 6% right now. Out of 100 people working today, only 6 of them don't have a job. So we're reaching very unusual levels of unemployment, meaning it's incredibly low. When you've got a hole or a void of 5 million jobs, how do you fill that gap? It's called cranking up immigration. And we're already 360,000 dwellings short per annum on a national scale. So you can see now these two cataclysmic effects mean that there's going to be more pressure and demand on property. Hence, more demand means more price growth and more benefit, more growth for you and me. Let's keep moving on. As I said before, 3 bedrooms are currently renting. 3 bedrooms are at $560 to $575. At the moment, we're talking about 4 bedrooms, 2 bath and 2 car lock-up. Now, as a cash flow analysis, people often say, does it now present a cash flow positive position? Let's have a look at it. When you look at the total acquisition price, you look at the outgoings, interest, you're talking about property management, landlord insurance, which is a must. What is my net position at the end of each week, Mark? I've got some depreciable items. I can claim back my depreciation, my contents depreciation, even claim back an inspection allowance of a maximum $1,600 per annum. When I look at an income of say $60,000 per annum, if you're earning more than that, you would find it's far more cash flow positive. But at this stage in the game, it's essentially $65 more cash in the pocket of the consumer, you and me. Folks, this is the way to make money. Foregoing massive capital gain, foregoing a massive tax break. I can literally save nearly $14,000 a year in tax alone. Do the maths. Nearly 14 grand you're going to keep in your pocket rather than giving it to Tony Abbott. I'm not saying he's doing a great job. I'm just not a political conversation. I am saying that $14,000 is better in your pocket than the taxman's. And it produces a benefit to you and me of $65 per week cash flow positive. I love property. And now we're taking out 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20 of these things in order that we can now sell them down, half of them, to retain half that is completely debt-free, unencumbered and liquid. And that rent becomes your grocery money, the way you pay the rego and the petrol and the entertainment, all that sort of stuff in the future. Let's keep moving. Benefits to you, when you're working with Massland Asset Management, we actually guarantee the rent each week. It's not a rent-free or some way that a builder loads up the price and says it's rental guaranteed for a year. It's not like that. What I do is I've had some bad experiences of property managers over the years. I'm not sort of speaking out of school, but I've had some very bad, some bad things that have happened around property management. And I worked out many years ago that I wanted to fix it. So if I manage the property, my team takes care of it, we guarantee the rent for the period of the management. If you say to me, that's fantastic, I want to know there's rent 52 weeks at 52, great, we'll do it for you. If I manage it for 4 years, that guarantee of rent is there for the whole 4 years. If you want someone else to manage it, Ray White, LJ Hooker, Remax, McGrath Group, whatever it might be, I'm happy for you, but it means that you won't have a rental guarantee from us. That's all. Reduce your tax immediately. I mean, this is how the rich get ahead, folks. I've learned something about money, and it's not so much how much or little you earn. I've learned that getting rich is about how much you keep. And tax is a very big component of the way people live today. We are the 5th highest tax nation in the Western world. It's nothing to boast about. But using property, we're intelligently reducing that tax payable. And we're doing that legally inside the constraints of legislation, of course. What's the government's alternative? To see us on a pension? They can never do that. Next, be financially independent within 10 years. We've got graduates that are pulling this together in 5.5, 6.5 years. 10, that's the very outside benchmark. Work on that. Purchasing off the plan, today you'll witness with your own eyes how it works. When we now have projects and we release them to the market, we have a massive uptake. Today in our database we have 58,000 investors. They're like piranhas feeding off an opportunity. And what it means is that we can deliver our projects faster, in turn meaning that we can release them at a lower price than our competitors. We're not a public company. We're not, the big guns of Stockland, Urvac or Divine. We can physically release our projects 10, 15,000 less than the market and still make margins enough to make a profit. Big public companies answer to shareholders, not you and I. Hence, they have a premium on their properties. Massland Finance, if you need any help, we can help you get there. Easy, very simple. Pay off your debt in 9.2 years fast. This is a quirky little thing that we worked out some time ago. It's not about so much an offset, it was actually the methodology of paying you the rent, not every month like property managers do today. When you have Massland Asset Management, we worked out a very cool idea where instead of getting the rent every month and then paying the bank every month, what if we paid you every fortnight or every week? It would mean that the loan wouldn't accrue interest for 30 days of 31. It would only accrue interest for 6 days of the 7, massively reducing the interest paid to the bank. When we worked that thing through, we built some software around it, created a very cool platform today that a lot of people say has championed a new way of thinking in the industry. It's very, very cool. Paying off a property at least 9 years faster. And tapping current markets to extract well over $70,000 a year in capital growth. If you're anywhere near Sydney or know anything about markets, Blind Freddy can obviously work out that market's moving at 16.7% today, Mark. Correct. That means I'm going to gain about $118,000 on a median value property. Correct. And let's face it, folks, a lot of people in Australia don't earn $118,000. And they're making that a 1 year in growth on one property only. Let's now take effect over 4, 5, 7, 14 properties at $118,000 per property. You understand how people get so far ahead with property. It's not rocket science, but that's exactly what we're doing here. Let's keep moving. How do you know it's a great deal? Well, simple. Look at some comparables. In Perth, we're talking about $575,000. Minerva Loop Success. Southern Perth, $575,000. That seems pretty cheap. Have a look at this one. Chelsea Circuit, $649,000. Again, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 car lockup. You can see here, South Haven, $669,000 for 4 bedrooms, which we're talking about here. It's obviously a market that's moving pretty well. Retail prices, 170 square metres under roof. Now these are 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 lock-up garage. You can see 170 square metres at $553, that's retail value, and still cheaper than the stuff in Success. Much cheaper. $669,000, 590, you're still talking $553,000. Finished, complete, turnkey, ready for someone to rent. I'll guarantee the rent, provided that we take care of the management. And we obviously have a lot more tenants than we have available properties. Check this out though. When you buy it today with Massland, special action takers offer, it's $513,862. What is that? Holy smokes. I get a freehold block of dirt, 170 square metres of house, 4 bedrooms under roof, 2 bathroom, 2-car lockup mark. And I've got a capital gain already locked in of $39,238. Why would you sell it so cheap? Because we make a profit on volume. And you might go, but Jesus, that's 39 grand. Yes, I get that 100%. And I'd rather see the whole estate gone in rapid fire time and then focus on the next project. Rather than trying to squeeze every last dollar out of there, leave something in there for the investor, you and me. And for those of you that are wise enough, $39,000 is no small amount of change. If there was 39 grand sitting on your dining room table right now, you pick it up, folks. Pick up a pen and get moving. This is the way to make money. How does it work from here? Well, there's only 9 blocks remaining in the whole estate. Should you wish to participate, grab hold of an expression of interest or call my team direct. Now, step number 1, you'll need to fill out a financial snapshot. In order for my team to be able to support you, in order for them to be able to really help out with the situation, you'll need to be able to fill out a snapshot. That's the details, your vocation, how long you've been there, employer or self-employed, whatever it might be, and an expression of interest. That's just saying, hey, listen, put me down, I'm interested in learning more, understanding more, and I'm ready to take some action, but I don't know the steps just yet. Beyond that, step 2, we work with you to get finance pre-approval. You may want to work with your bank. I would recommend staying away from the big 4. I won't mention any names. I just feel that we're a number in a queue. Working with a financier, they've got a vested interest of seeing you and I get ahead. And we're working with financiers that are investors themselves, that understand how to release equity, how to recycle equity, how to build and develop a portfolio, not just buy one property. One is not going to get you retired. 5, 7, 12, 15 certainly will. Work with an expert that understands that routine. And obviously a 10% deposit. You may have cash, equity release. We do take a nominal amount of deposit bonds, but it may even be a line of credit over a property, a line of credit even over a business perhaps. Moving forward, step 3, contracts will be issued around July of 2014, give or take about 6 to 9 weeks from now. Sorry, 5 to 6 weeks from now. And then lastly, settle and tenants move in around December, close of 2014. And this is where the dollars start to flow. The rent starts coming through and you and I start paying that, obviously off the loan. But more importantly, again, I want to re-emphasise that we're not doing that in a way that we're using our labours or our job. We're getting tax breaks. The tenant's effectively paying off the house for us. More importantly, we want to hold the property because we know that it doubles in a 10-year window. And I'm just going to sell down half the portfolio, Mark, so that I can now retire on that half that's debt-free, liquid, unencumbered. You might decide 4 is what you need to retire. Great, let's set a plan and purchase 8 over the next 10 years. You might decide, well, I'm going to need at least 7, 10 properties, Mark. Well, let's double that and then work a plan to purchase 14. Sell down 7, hold 7, debt-free, unencumbered. That's why the market doubles every 10 years. We can use that to our advantage. Beyond that, your next step, obviously, is to fill that expression of interest. And as I said before, get your financial snapshot in, your details, and that way my team can truly support you and help you nut out what the best method is. So this is Mark Rolton signing off. Take advantage. Recognise the markets everywhere are going ballistic. And they're going to grow in value whether you and I participate or not. The money is there. Reach out, grab it, secure one of these properties in Whistling Grove today. This is your call to action. Should you want to make some money, grab the form, fill it in, or call my team direct on 0755 317822. That's 0755 317822. And I look forward to hearing your success stories as you build your portfolio and push into retirement and make that happen a whole lot faster. So this is your call to action. It doesn't happen just watching the screen. Physically do something right now that you decide, you know what, yeah, I've got to do something. I've got to make this happen. If I don't, what does it cost me? What does it cost me long term to sit on the sidelines and watch again? What does it cost me in retirement if I don't have the money and the pension's not there for us? How do I operate then? So this is Mark Rolton signing off. Do something. I look forward to hearing your success stories and working with you more in the future as we piece together that portfolio for you. Have a great day. Bye for now.